Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the European pre-market analysis session. Hope you're doing well out there. So, we've woken up today with markets being slightly range-bound, to be honest. DAX at the moment, as you can see, is sort of trading along sideways. EU 50, very much the same thing, and the UK FTSE as well. UK FTSE unfortunately never came back down to hit the alarm. It did just continue rallying yesterday, reaching up to a high of around 1036, just underneath the target profit for the weekly trade idea. It's a real shame, guys, to be honest. I don't know what else to say about it. Real shame that it didn't come back. And it was a good call, obviously, but just a little bit behind the curve on that one. So thinking about what we're ultimately looking for this morning, I think based on the fact that we are, at least on this EU 50, we're kind of sat there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring down another one, put that at the bottom. Yes, we have got a bit of an ascending level rising up through the lows, but I think we can safely assume that that's going to be the trading margin for today. The break of structure for this one ultimately took place down at the lows there, as did the one up at the highs, which is about there. So if that's the short BOS, and we've got the long break of structure about here, we're going to have to wait for the market to either breach premium or discount before we get that trade idea. Okay, so we're going to look at the shorts from about here, targeting down at the lows, stop loss, probably, I would say, about there, touch high, so let's have say about there. Right, so that's going to be a 1 to 2.64, not too bad. And then we've got the long, which is simply going to be on the other side of the market. Target profit there, entry, and stop loss, we say about there for 1 to 2.73. So a couple of really nice trade ideas on that EU 50. We just have to wait, of course, for the premium or discount to be achieved. That's going to be the one. So one of those. I'll download that one. Okay, next up, we've got the DAX. Again, very much the same thing. A little bit of a deacceleration period going on here in the DAX. Really, really nice big climb yesterday. We do actually have this coming up through here, and that is then followed up by the descending level coming down through there. So we're kind of waiting for a bit of a breakout. We can see that we've got possibly a larger time frame pennant starting to form. I think, however, still based on the available margin here, which isn't bad, we've got the breaker structure which could take place about there. We've got the target profit potentially down at the lows on that ascending level, which means that the short could take place somewhere around, let's say, maybe about there, possibly a little bit of a better target, stop loss, so possibly around a 1 to 2, maybe a 1 to 2.4, somewhere around that margin. I mean, it depends where the target profit's going to be, of course, by the time the market hits it. So you could get anything from a 1 to 2.1 to a 1 to 2.6, to be honest. It just all depends on what happens when the market opens up. It's in about half an hour's time. I don't really see the long availability for this one at the moment. We could say, for example, that we're looking for the market to come back up to the previous highs, and that could be the long trading margin in there. We do have a TRF, which is situated at this level in here at around 24,393. If the market continues to trail along and let's say, kind of like this, just along to the side here, and then we break free, there is the opportunity for a good long take place around there. But again, we really are coming ultra close to the available risk reward ratio, because we have to wait for the break of structure above this level in here. So you are right on the cusp of being able to make that work. The only way you will make it comfortably work, I would say, is by having the stop loss on top of that break of structure point rather than underneath it, and then that kind of eliminates the power of the stop loss with the market structure. So I'm really on the fence about that one, team, and I would be much more comfortable just suggesting, wait to see if the short goes and take that one instead. And then finally, we've got the UK FTSE. Now, of course, our weekly trade idea, it never came to fruition, so we kind of just got to bin that one for the time being. Ultimately, it would be safe thinking that the market's going to rally back up to 1038, because that's obviously where I initially intended to take that trade idea to anyway. We've got a fantastic floor of structure there. So if we just clone this, bring this one up to the highs, frankly, I could leave that there, and then that becomes the trading margin, which is fantastic. I really like this level, so maybe I just bring that down just a touch, and we could look at the possibility of price coming up to, say, this area, which is the previous highs, and then from that area coming back down and rejecting. It could go as far as liquidity up at the highs, and what would happen in that case is we would see the big push up to around 1038, get the big move back down, but the break of structure for that trading opportunity then becomes this level in here. So you've got kind of two trading opportunities now. One's going to be a little bit longer than the other, but they are equally as good. So we've got trade idea number one, and stop loss will be a little bit more slack on that first one, and we've got trade idea number two. Same target profit, higher entry, higher stop loss. Yeah, something like that. No, again though, no long availability in the UK FTSE. So if the markets are long today, your only option is to see a drop in the EU 50 and then to buy back. And that's the downside, because there's not much long availability across the European session today. Now, thinking about natural gas, obviously we're still waiting for that one to come back down. It came super close yesterday after the market open, came down to just above the alarm, but we didn't quite get there. But the market's not moved anywhere since, which is a good sign. So I do think that natural gas could come back down to the 2907 point, and we could get in on that one, so not a problem. UK Brent continues to tread along sideways, not moved a muscle. We've got silver, so this is quite unfortunate. That's the silver so far. Came up, haven't done anything, moved along sideways, but it did trigger the trade and come back down for a stop out. And we've got gold, which has done the same. It's not moved a muscle, just ranged. So unfortunately, so far this week has been incredibly quiet. It's not really done anything at all. Obviously, yesterday's US Open was a complete messy state of affairs. And yeah, it's a real shame, to be honest. We did get a couple of movers, but overall, markets were incredibly choppy. I mean, look at this stuff. Doesn't look very hopeful. But we're only on Tuesday morning, so got a lot of time left in the week, and yeah, keep our fingers crossed. So I'm going to wrap things up there. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to chuck them out in the chat, and I will get back to you in good time. We've only got about 20 minutes to go before the European bell rings, so let's see what we can do. So take care, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.